It's Vlogmas day 16. Waking up a little late today. It's 9 o'clock right now. Me and Liz went out to this awesome new comedy club in Austin. I got us like free tickets. It was their first like show that they were putting on. It was just like a bunch of small local comics, I guess, or maybe not all local, but a bunch of like smaller comics. A lot of them were really funny. We were there until about like 10 and then grabbed food because me and Liz didn't eat all day yesterday for the most part. It was kind of last minute thing that we went. I was on the wait list to get tickets, but then I got an email. It's like, oh, like you guys have made it and made the cut, so come on down. So we kind of just like rushed down there and got dinner after at this Japanese barbecue spot. It was pretty good, and then headed back to our place, but we got home a little late, and I guess maybe just like the drinking and the being out just added to us waking up late. So now it's 9 o'clock. I'm making some coffee, and then I'm gonna start getting some things done because I didn't get everything done that I wanted to yesterday, and I feel like I'm already behind the 8 ball starting today, especially waking up late. So lots to do. It's about 11 o'clock. I just finished up doing my whole like morning routine kind of thing. I'm drinking my greens and reds and my pre-workout because I'm going to jiu-jitsu in about 30 minutes. Right now, I am getting ready to upload the podcast that we recorded 2 days ago. We got a little busy and it didn't go live on Wednesday like it was supposed to, so it's going to go live today on Thursday. And I'm just finishing up doing a little editing, adding the intros and whatnot, and then it'll be posted live. So it'll definitely be out when this video is out, so go check it out. I was out all day. I was hanging out with a friend, and I just got back at 6 o'clock, so I kind of didn't record a lot of stuff today. That being said, I'm making dinner because Liz isn't feeling great. What? Liz is messing with me. Anyway, we're making a pot roast in the pressure cooker.
Pot roast?
That's what this is, yeah. It's like a chuck roast. I don't know.
I thought it was just steak.
I thought it was just steak too. I don't know. They have a lot of meat choices at HEB. Just grab one. Anyway, we're cooking in the pressure cooker. I did this trick that I like to do that I saw some time ago. And basically, with like cheaper meat cuts, you cover it in salt. So we were supposed to have this yesterday. So yesterday afternoon, I covered it in salt and put it back in the fridge. And that kind of like tenderizes the meat. But since we went out last night, we didn't eat it. And now it's kind of been sitting in salt since then. This has been at least 24 hours kind of like in salt, breaking it down. And you can tell it's like a little, the color's changed. A lot's gone on. But now covered in this rub spice. And then we're going to brown it in the, it's not Instapot, but pressure cooker before you leave it in there. Okay. Liz is having fun. We're having a good time.
You want to take a picture?
Sure. Okay. It's looking good. So the camera was picking up the sizzling of the meat in the pressure cooker too much, so you kind of couldn't really hear what I was talking about. But basically, I'm chopping up an onion into quarters, and now I'm moving the meat around so it gets browned on all the sides. So you put it down face down one way, flip it over face down the other way, and then you kind of go through and try and brown all the edges of it, and that kind of just helps lock in a lot of the moisture while it's cooking. And now I'm kind of just like trying to like tap it down so it gets all in contact with the bottom of the pan. At this point, I am adding chicken stock. The recipe asked for beef broth, but I didn't have any, so we went with chicken instead. At this point, I'm asking Liz if it's okay that I put onions. The recipe asked to put onions in the pressure cooker with it, but usually when Liz has a migraine, onions affect it even more and make it worse. Usually she likes to stay away from them, but since she wasn't actually eating them, it was okay for this apart. The last ingredient is going to be some Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire, however you say it. Liz was teasing me that I didn't know what to call it or the exact pronunciation of it, but I'm pretty sure it's Worcestershire. I'm just adding a few tablespoons of that into the pressure cooker as well, and to help kind of like give it a little more flavor. And then once everything's kind of like in there, I'm just kind of mixing it all up with the tongs and moving everything around just to make sure that the meat gets covered on all the sides, the onion kind of gets in there, the Worcestershire mixes around, and we got a lot of good flavor going on. I set the pressure cooker for 20 minutes, and it's going to run at 20 minutes on high pressure, and then I'm going to reset it at that point and put it for another 20 minutes on low pressure. You're supposed to add some vegetables, but we didn't do that. 30 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to go make Liz's potatoes and some asparagus. Liz loves to have carbs when she has migraines, so we're making potatoes as a side. And when I make potatoes, especially these red potatoes, I like to kind of cut them in half. One way, cut them half another way, and then cut it in thirds down so they're all kind of smallish so they could cook pretty well and all kind of about the same size. I like to keep my seasonings pretty simple, so I add garlic powder, salt, this is chili powder, and then some turmeric. From there, I give it a little flippity flop, and after flipping it a few times, I realized that I forgot to put olive oil, so although the seasoning is kind of spreading around, it's not really going to cook that well, so I add a little more. I add some olive oil, and then give it a few more flips. The potatoes are on the pan. I forgot to take a video of me putting it on there, but with that, I go over to the asparagus, which is a similar seasoning, except this time it's just salt and garlic powder with some olive oil. I mix it up with my hands. Sometimes I put it in a bowl, but I realize that with the asparagus, it's kind of just easier to roll it around on the cutting board. It doesn't really work out too well in the bowl just because of the shape. Then we have to put it back on the tray. This is a nice big tray, so we could put both the asparagus and the potatoes in at the same time. I have the oven at 425. After 2 20-minute sessions in the pressure cooker, the meat is done, and it is looking amazing. It is juicy. It is half falling apart. I barely know how to take it out of the pressure cooker, but I get it all out, and now I'm gonna bring it over and start cutting it up. As you can see in the video here, the meat is very tender. It is falling apart. I'm trying to cut it, but honestly, it's more like I'm just shoving the knife through. The fat is rendered beautifully. It's super moist, and it came out so good. I forgot to take some footage while we were eating, or at least after I put everything on the plate, to kind of like give a rundown of how it came out. But this was one of the best meals that I feel like I've made in a little while. And just like the air fryer, me and Liz were talking about it this night, and we have really slept on the pressure cooker. It was something that we had never really used before, and we were kind of, at least Liz, I should say, was a little nervous about using it, but it makes food amazing. So if you have a pressure cooker, don't have a pressure cooker, go get one, start using one, try it out. And this roast was supposed to take 6 hours in the oven, and it took 40 minutes in the pressure cooker.